Hello, ice fishing enthusiasts. We're diving into the Clam Outdoors Fresh 2024-2025 full ice fishing catalog. I'll be walking you through all the gear they will be offering this season, highlighting standout items and giving you my honest takes on what's worth your hard-earned cash. Let's jump in. First up, we've got fish traps. These are ice fishing flip-over shelters. One quick call out all the way throughout the video, any of the gear that we talk about, I will have linked down below in the description and as a pinned comment. Please use those links if you're looking to check the gear out. It helps the channel out, and I always make sure to try to put the links to the gear items that have the best deals for you, so please check those out. First up, we've got the Ranger XT Thermal. This is the new flip over for this year from Clam. This is the only new flip over that they have. They do have a new hub house this year as well that we'll talk about when we get to that, but this guy is awesome. I really love the design. I got to see this in person at a recent show that I was at. This has got a 3-year warranty. It's part of the Folds of Honor and the Ice Ops collection. Essentially what that is Folds of Honor is a nonprofit organization that helps donate to some of our military veterans and their families. So a portion of the proceeds do go to them. If you buy anything in this line, they've got ice suits, they've got other things in this line as well. So kind of cool that it goes towards a good cause, and it looks pretty dang sick. I think it's some of the coolest looking shelters that they got out there. Size wise, we've got set up 94 by 61 in a pack size in inches of 61 by 35, 23, 24 fishable square feet. One thing to call out here is this is the same shelter size as the Nanook. So if you're familiar with what the Nanook looks like, this is the exact same shelter space-wise. You do have, of course, different canvas on it and a few different accessories included with it as well. You've got your 75-inch front height, which is great, and it's coming in at just 87 pounds, 24 fishable square feet, and a capacity of 2 people. So what do you get with this guy? You get, of course, the support, the Folds of Honor Foundation, 900 denier fabric, 90 grams of thermal insulation, the 1.25-inch poles. These are the Rapid Pole Slide Extreme system. These are their biggest poles that they have. You've got dual padded seats for the extra comfort. It includes overhead mesh storage net on the top. You've got tub and poles made in the USA. The XT design, so that's the extra tall front of it to allow you that in and out. And then you've got sewn-in rod holders, which are new this year. I'll put a picture here of what those look like. This does also come with a few pieces of gear. It comes with the battery bracket, the travel cover, and the light bar, all in this guy. So if you're looking to pick this up this year, pick it up early. I think this is going to sell out pretty dang quick. The rest of the flip overs are flip overs that have been in their line before, but we are going to zip through them so you can still see what the options are. So you've got the Scout XT Thermal here. This is a 1-man shelter, 10 fishable square feet. So it is a little bit more smaller size, but it only comes in at 48 pounds. So if you're looking for that portable setup that has that taller front entrance for one person ready to hole hop around, this could be a good choice for you. It does come with the 900 denier fabric, 90 grams of thermal insulation, and it does have the RPSX pole system, which allows you to have the rapid extension on it. Then you've got the Legend XT Thermal. On the right-hand side here is your regular version, and then on the left here, you've got your Ice Team model. These are the same shelter, except in the Ice Team model, you do get a few additional accessories. So what do they both have? They're both 16 fishable square feet, a 1-person shelter, just a little bit bigger, right? You've got your pack size here and your setup size. Front height, it is a little bit taller than the Scout XT Thermal that we just looked at. Same insulation though, 900 denier fabric, 90 grams of thermal insulation. This does come with the deluxe swivel seat that slides front to back and side to side in it. And of course that XT design to give you that full front entry. Now, what do you get with the Ice Team model? The Ice Team model comes with the battery bracket, a travel cover, and a light bar. You're going to also see the coloring on the shelter itself is green accent versus just the gray accent on the basic model. Moving on with a few more, they're 1-man shelters. Got the Kenai Pro Thermal. This one is 11 fishable square feet. Again, capacity of 50 pounds in weight, which is nice. What's great about this shelter is that it does still have that tough 900 denier fabric. It is a full thermal shelter, and while it doesn't have that extra tall height on it, what's really great about this is it's only 50 pounds, so it's really lightweight, and it doesn't have extending poles in it. So it's just flip and go, flip back, flip forward, and you're done. Really awesome. Now, the newer version, the Ice Team Kenai XT Thermal, does have a few of the upgraded new features, as this is a newer shelter. So same fishable square feet at 11, one person capacity, still really lightweight at 56 pounds. It does still have the tough 900 denier fabric, 90 grams of thermal insulation. However, it does give you the hammock under the seat to stow your gear away. And it does still have the fast flip and go pole system with no extending poles, but it is the XT design with more headroom for that easier entry and exit. And of course, since this is the Ice Team version of this shelter, it comes with the battery bracket, the travel cover, and the light bar. Moving to some of the two-man shelters here, we've got the Nanook XL and the Nanook XT Thermal. Starting with the Nanook XL, we've got 23 fishable square feet. So now we're stepping up into that capacity where you can have two people inside of it. 72 pounds. This is the lightest weight two-man, I believe, that they have. And you're looking here at 600 denier fabric. So this is a little bit lighter fabric than the 900 that we've seen. They do go all the way up to 1200 in some of the series. So just know this is a little bit lighter, but that's going to keep that weight down, which is really nice if you're not in the super cold climates, or you're the type of person that it's just really the windbreak in trying to get a little bit of insulation to keep some of the sweating down. You've got a heater you're not worried about using. This could be still a really good solution for you. It's got the side symmetry door system. So this is the side doors that kind of open towards the front, as you can tell just by the zipper here. And they do advertise this is the lightweight two-person shelter, mesh overhead storage, tub and poles made in the USA, and it does have the XT design where it's got more headroom and easy exit entry. You've got the XT Thermal, which is going to give you a little bit taller height here. So you're going up to 75 inches versus 69 inches. It is going to weigh more, an extra square foot of fishable space here. It is still two-person capacity. You're looking at 900 denier fabric, so it is stepping up from that 600 to the 900, and it's got the 90 grams of thermal insulation. It has the RPSX pole system for rapid extension, overhead mesh storage, and that XT design that we had talked about. And of course, they do have an Ice Team and a regular model available here. The Ice Team model comes with those accessories we keep talking about: battery bracket, travel cover, and light bar. Couple more two-mans. We've got the Yukon XT Thermal and the Voyager XT Thermal. So we're going to cover off on the Yukon first. Yukon's got 23 fishable square feet, two-person capacity, a little bit heavier shelter, 109 pounds, 112 if you get the Ice Team version that has those three accessories in it. You're looking at 79-inch front height, so a nice, a little bit taller height. That is the 900 denier fabric, which is great. The rapid extension pole system, overhead mesh storage, and that XT design. Stepping over to the Voyager XT Thermal, this is a two-person shelter again. You've got a regular version and the Ice Team version, heavier yet, but you do get, out of what we've talked about so far, the largest fishable square foot at 26 fishable square feet. You've still got that same height as the Yukon XT Thermal at 79 inches. You've got the XT design. You've got the hammocks located under the seats for storing gear. You've got the gray plastic tub, which is their heaviest duty tub that they have. You do have the tub that has the gray interior on it, so it's going to make it easier to look at your gear and find it sitting in the tub rather than the black tub, which is really nice. And it is the two removable deluxe padded swivel seats, which is why you get those hammocks underneath it. And you do have the side symmetry door system. So these have the side doors, not the front door. 900 denier fabric and 1 1/4 inch pole. These are their best poles that they have in any of their shelters. And as we wrap up talking about the Voyager XT Thermal, we're going to actually shift over to the Jason Mitchell XT Thermal. This is a step up of the same shelter. So you've got the same size, you do have a little bit heavier weight, so all of the features are the same here. What's different though is the Jason Mitchell accessories that you get with it. So you're going to get 2 4-position rod holders, you're going to get a bait bucket with mount, you're going to get a battery bracket, travel cover, and light bar all included, plus the different colorway. So this is that light gray, really nice color pattern on it, and it does have, of course, the 3-year warranty. Now, moving over to the X Series traps, these X Series traps, again, flip over fishing shelters, are their best from Clam. This is the top of the line parts, pieces, components that you're going to see. I do have one of these. I have the X100 that we're going to talk about here. The X100 Pro Thermal XT, this is the one-man shelter that I have that I absolutely love. It is 88 pounds, so it is not the lightest one-man shelter on the market. In fact, it's on the heavier side. However, I do like that it has the 14 fishable square feet. Again, one person capacity. You do have one seat inside of it. 80-inch front height, so really tall front door, which I absolutely love. And it does pack up to slide right on in the back of your truck if you do have a short bed truck like I do. It does have the 900 denier fabric, which is awesome for this little one-man shelter. 90 grams of thermal insulation. It comes with the 1.25 inch rapid extension pole system. So again, their best pole system that they have there in terms of diameter of poles and the extension quality. It has the removable deluxe padded swivel seat. It has the co-extruding gray plastic inner tub to help locate gear. This is the best tub that they make for their shelters in this X series. And it's, of course, that XT design, which we talked about, that front height. It does come, because I got the Pro model, the Pro model does come with the battery bracket, the travel cover, and the light bar included. Looking at a two-man version here, we've got the X200 Thermal XT, and this is going to come in at 160 pounds. I feel like that weight is a little much, but maybe that is right. I'll have to double check after and put it in the video, but that does feel a little bit heavy. 34 fishable square feet, so a big step up there in terms of fishable square feet, which is great, and an extra 2 inches of front height on this shelter. You are stepping up to 1,200 denier fabric, so this is their top of the line, heaviest duty fabric that they have. 1,200 denier, 90 grams of thermal insulation, that great pole system, 2 of the removable deluxe padded swivel seats, that same high quality tub. It's the co-extruded gray plastic inner tub to help you locate the gear, and that XT design. As we keep going here, now we've got the X200 Pro Thermal. So before we were looking at the Thermal XT, now we're looking at the Pro Thermal XT. And this is where I think the weight is maybe swapped with the previous one. So this is 141 pounds. The big difference here is the battery bracket, travel cover, and light bar comes in the Pro model. And so that's what you're stepping up to here. Talking about an even bigger 2 or 3 man shelter, you've got the X300 Pro Thermal XT. So this is where you've got a 3-person capacity, 40 fishable square feet, 165 pounds, so not a lightweight buddy by any chance, but 83 inches of front height, which is great. It has the ultra tough 1,800 denier fabric. This is the highest denier fabric that I've seen on the market for a fishing shelter, which is absolutely awesome. 90 grams of thermal insulation, those great 1.25 inch rapid expansion pole systems, 2 removable deluxe padded swivel seats. However, you can buy an extra seat and fit 3 inside of this guy. You've got the side symmetry door systems. So you've got those side access doors, which is great. That great tub, that's their heaviest duty tub. You've got hammocks located under each of the seats for storing gear. Tub and poles made in the USA. And of course, this is the Pro model, so you're getting the battery bracket, travel cover, and light bar included. And the big boy, the X400 Thermal XT. This is a 4-person capacity shelter at 190 pounds, 68 fishable square feet, 81 inches of front height. This is a very unique shelter that we're going to talk about here. So it does have 900 denier fabric, but remember, you got 4 people in here. You got good body heat in here. You could throw a couple heaters in here. If you can't tell just by looking at this, it is a big tub, and you've got 4 seats in there, 2 facing each direction. So it's basically back-to-back 2 flip overs, but all in one, which is pretty awesome. You've got their best pole system. You've got 4 removable deluxe padded swivel seats. You have side symmetry door system and front doors included on this one. That great tub. You've got hammocks located under each of the seat. And of course, you've got that extra tall height at 81 inches. Boom. And now moving on to the hub shelters. We've got the one brand new for this year, the Ice Ops X600 Thermal. This is the same size as the X600, except it is part of the Folds of Honor and Ice Ops series. It is the sickest looking hub that I've seen on the market to date, which is great. You've got that star spangled door. You got the Folds of Honor and the Ice Ops logos. Again, proceeds do go to the Folds of Honor Foundation, which is great for this one. So this will be identical in terms of what we're looking at feature-wise for the most part to the X600. 94 fishable square feet, 67 pounds, center height in 90 inches, roughly 5 to 6 person capacity. I'd say a 4 to 5 person capacity comfortably, or great for ice camping. Pretty good size for that. We've got 900 denier fabric. You've got thermal trap technology, retains heat, reduces condensation. You've got 11 millimeter flex tested poles, because remember, the poles in these are going to be different than the poles in a flip over, obviously, because they need to flex and bend. But these are Super Duty 11 millimeter. You've got the max entry door system. So this is the thing that we're going to talk quite a bit about. This is their full door on their shelters. However, it does have the skirt that goes across the bottom to keep that door taut and tight and allow you to bank it in, which is a pretty cool feature. That's that max entry door system for easy entry exit, and it can be banked. You've got 2 doors on opposite sides. The max entry is on one side, and then you've got a triangle door on the back side. You've got 8 sewn-in rod holders. What's really cool about these rod holders is they do have the blank hook on them as well. So these are the best sewn-in rod holders that I've seen in any of the hub shelters out there. You've got the black interior and exterior, so it is a blackout shelter. Great if you wanted dark house spearing or anything like that. It's great for sight fishing as well. Oversized skirt, oversized carry bag and cinch strap, triple layer corner pockets, lab tested hub assemblies, largest in the industry. 5 ice anchors come with it and straps for windy conditions. And it is a 6-sided shelter, easy to set up, lightweight hub shelter. All right, moving on to the X400 thermal. So now you're going to see we're going to jump through the X series here. X400 thermal, of course, has the max entry door. You're looking at 64 fishable square feet, but you cut the weight down to 50 pounds. 3 to 4 person capacity is what they advertise. I would say probably 2 to 3. 82-inch center height. 900 denier fabric, same thermal trap technology, same 11 millimeter poles, same max entry door, same 2 doors. It doesn't have the design of the previous one, but it is the max entry door, and then you've got the triangle door in the back. So very identical to what we were just talking about. It does have 3 ice anchors instead of 5 included, and it is a 4-sided hub rather than a 6-sided hub because of the size, right? And both of these do have a 3-year warranty. Now, if we go to the Ice Team X400 thermal, so the biggest thing that you're going to see here is we're moving from the 400 to the Ice Team 400. The only big difference here is we're stepping into the Ice Team accessories that you're also going to get with it, which is the Aurora lighting system. So Ice Team typically just means that you're going to get a little bit of a different colorway. So you're getting that green accent rather than the gray, and you're going to get some additional accessories with it, which this one has the Aurora lighting system, which is an LED lighting system that goes all the way around the outside of the hub shelter, which I think is one of the best lighting systems for a hub house that I've seen out on the market to date. This is a little bit more of a unique one. Next, the X500 thermal lookout. So this is 64 fishable square feet, 55 pounds. But what's different here is how many windows this shelter has. They say it's a 4 to 5 person capacity. I would say you're probably closer to that 4 mark. 3 is really comfortable in this one. 900 denier fabric, same poles, same max entry door, 2 doors on the opposite sides like normal. This one comes with 4 ice anchors and the straps. This has 3 windows per wall, except where you have the door. That door has 2 windows on it for full 360-degree visibility around your shelter. This is great if you're looking out, if you're trying to look for tip-ups, just you want that extra light coming in. This is a great shelter for that. It's 5-sided, easy to set up in a lightweight hub shelter. Moving on to the Ice Team X500 thermal. So we talked about the Ice Team X400 thermal as a 4-sided shelter. The X500 is a 5-sided shelter with the thermal lookout, right? Because you're looking at all the windows there. Well, the Ice Team X500 thermal is like the 400, similar to it, except it does have 5 sides. So really the benefit that you're getting in this shelter is that extra wall. So it's going to give you a little bit more space. If you look at from the center of wall to center of wall across, you've got 9 feet in diameter on the X500 and you have 8 feet in diameter on the X400. So you're going to get a little bit more of that elbow room. You're still talking about that 82-inch center height here. Roughly the same fishable square feet. I would argue that it doesn't really make sense that with less fishable square feet, just because you get a little bit more arm room, that you can have a full extra person in there of 4 to 5 people versus 3 to 4. I would argue that that doesn't actually make sense. You can look at just the shape of this, and I'll put a top-down view of the shape of these so you can kind of see what I'm talking about in terms of how they're laid out differently with a 4-sided shelter versus a 5-sided shelter. But this is the Ice Team version, so you're going to get the Aurora lighting system as well. Next is the Jason Mitchell version of the shelter, the JMX 5000 thermal. I believe this is identical to the X500 thermal we were just looking at. It is not the Ice Team, so I don't believe it has the Aurora lighting system in it. And it does not have 3 windows per wall. It is 1 window per wall, except the door wall that has 2 that you can see in the picture. And of course, it has a different colorway with that Jason Mitchell Special Elite Series colorway. Stepping up to the big boys, we've got the X600 thermal and the Ice Team X600 thermal. What you can see here is how they do their numbering. If it isn't apparent to you yet, the 6 stands for how many sides. So 6 sides on the 600, 5 on the 500, 4 on the 400. So this is a 6-sided hub shelter. Both of these are 94 fishable square feet. You can see 90-inch center height. So these are the tall ones, 5 to 6 people capacity. I would say, yeah, you probably do that. If you want a tight house in there, I'd probably go in that 4 to 5 range myself. 67 pounds is a pretty lightweight design. 900 denier fabric, max entry door, same Super Duty 11 millimeter flex tested poles. You've got the opposite door on the opposite side from the max entry door, oversized carry bag, skirt, all the same things that are all part of this X series of the hub shelters. You've got 5 ice anchors in straps for windy conditions, and of course, 6-sided shelter. Now, Ice Team, same thing, except you do get the Aurora lighting system in a little bit different colorway. And we've got the biggest one that they've got in their catalog, the X800 thermal. This one's a little bit unique because it is essentially a double hub. So if you had 4 hubs next to each other, boom, smash them together, that would be 8 sides. This one, the naming convention kind of goes out the window because they eliminated that inner wall. So it's essentially a long rectangle where you've got 2 hubs on each of the sides, and then you've got a front and a back where you've got the doors. You've got that max entry door on the front, you've got the triangle door on the back, and that is what you're looking at there. 83-inch center height, 128 fishable square feet, massive, 6 to 7 rated capacity. I'd probably say closer to 6, and then 73 pounds. So pretty lightweight given how big this guy is. You got 5 ice anchors included with this hub shelter. Now stepping into the C series of hubs. So these are going to be your more budget-friendly hubs that are focused on lighter weight. So you've got the C360. This is a 4-sided hub shelter, 36 fishable square feet at only 28 pounds. Super lightweight. It is a 300 denier fabric. It is not an insulated shelter, but it is super freaking lightweight. You still have that Super Duty 11 millimeter flex tested poles that are the same poles that they have in their highest end hub shelters, which is pretty awesome. The oversized skirt and carry bag and the triple layer corner pockets. 4 ice anchors come included with this hub shelter. And of course, they have a thermal version of it as well. So 36 fishable square feet, 36 pounds. It is 80-inch center height here, 600 denier fabric from the 300, 60 grams of thermal insulation that's included as well, 4 ice anchors, and it is still the 4-sided shelter. You've got the 560, which is a thermal shelter, 600 denier, 60 grams of thermal insulation, 56 fishable square feet, 39 pounds, 80-inch center height. So if you're looking at the C360 thermal versus the C560 thermal, you're only looking at a 3-pound difference. Both thermal, but you get 20 extra square feet by stepping up to this bigger 4-sided shelter. We got the C720 thermal, 72 fishable square feet, 60 pounds in weight, 80-inch center height, 4 to 5 person capacity. So this is a 6-paneled shelter, kind of like that double shelter that we saw before on the X800. However, this is the 720, very similar in design wise to what we saw on that X800. However, this is smaller, of course. 72 fishable square feet, 600 denier fabric, 60 grams of thermal insulation, still those heavy duty poles that are included. Then you've got the C890 thermal. So this is stepping up to a 6-sided shelter, 600 denier fabric, thermally insulated, 60 grams of thermal insulation, same great poles. You've got 89 fishable square feet, 69 pounds in weight, and a 90-inch center height. Now, another line of some of the new products that they came out with this year are their heaters. So they've got 3 new heaters this year. They've got the CH4200, which is a 1 pound topper, if you will. You have a 1 pound propane tank. This screws onto the top and it has a base with it. 4,200 BTU, 5-hour runtime off that 1 pound of propane. Pretty self-explanatory here, but that is one of their new heaters. I do have videos on these heaters also on the channel if you're interested in checking them out. They've got the CH10000, so I will call this comparable to your, your little buddy, your portable buddy type heater, your buddy heater, 10,000 BTU, 250 square feet of heating, 78-hour runtime. This can use one 1 pound propane tank hooked up to it, or you can use a hose and hook it up to a 20 pound, 5 pound, 10 pound, 11 pound type propane tank as well. And this does have electronic quick ignition, and it has fully variable heat from 5,500 BTU up to that 10,000 BTU. If you're interested in checking out more on these heaters, please check out the video that I have on the channel as I go a lot deeper into the features, how they work. I'm going to be putting out some other videos on the channel too in terms of comparisons to some of the other brands that are out there as well. They've got the CH16000, so this is comparable like to your Big Buddy heater if you're familiar with those. 16,000 BTU, 400 square feet of heating is what they advertise, 70-hour runtime. This has fully variable heat settings in 2 different zone ranges because it's got 2 ceramic panels, and you can go low to high with just 1 panel or low to high with both on low all the way up to both on high. So that gives you 6,000 to 8,000 BTU fully adjustable, and then 12,000 to 16,000 BTU fully adjustable as well. Electronic quick start ignition there. So you're not doing the click, click, click thing that you're doing with some of your other heaters that you have. These have, you click and you hear, it's an electronic lighter is exactly what it is. It has a battery. I believe it's a AA battery. It might be a AAA. I think it's a AA battery that goes in it. Tape another one inside the door and you'll never have any issues with it. Your battery's probably going to last you the whole season anyway, so just throw it away at the end of the season, put a new one in the beginning of the next season, and you are ready to go. This looks pretty awesome. Very heavy duty, cool looking build on them, nice handle on it. The 16,000 BTU can use 2 1 pound propane tanks on the sides. It does not have a quick connect nozzle fitting, so you can just screw into the side of it with a hose to a 20 pound tank or bigger. Both of these have the tip over safety shutoff switch, low oxygen depletion sensor for safety shutoff switch. From what I've seen so far, these are rated to be able to be used indoors as well in your ice fishing shelter, as well as inside of your permanent shelter if you want to, as long as you have the appropriate level of ventilation. That is incredibly important. Use a carbon monoxide detector if you're going to be using these out on the ice, especially if you're going to be doing ice camping. Look up all the safety tips and tricks on these if you're going to be doing ice camping. Next, we've got Clam Live. Again, another video I have dedicated to these products on the channel already this year from when I got to get my hands on a couple of these things. So this is the Clam Live line, all focused around gear for live imaging systems that are out there. So you've got the sonar carry bag and live imaging pole on the left here that you're taking a look at. And then you've got some of the other angles of those accessories here on the right. So jumping into the products, you've got the Ice Electronic Shuttle. This is a shuttle that's built for both live units and standard sonar units. It has a ton of the mounting plates for the bracket for the head unit to go directly on there. And then it has a spot for you to mount your black box to on the back. So depending on what brand you have, if you have Lowrance, if you have Garmin and you have a black box, you can go ahead and do that. Humminbird, of course, will also work. However, you shouldn't need a black box for that Humminbird unit. It comes with 2 rod holders and a transducer puck to personalize the shuttle, which is really great. You can use their Clam Lock system on the side of the shuttle. It has a USB charging port, 12-volt port. You can also see it's got a voltmeter on the front of it. It's got a set of post terminals, a positive and a negative on it. Some really cool features on this shuttle. It says that it has 1 set of post terminals, but I don't believe that is the case. I don't think it has that. It does have a master power switch, but it is a different master power switch than what is in this photo. It is this power switch that is on it instead. They've got a different switch. It looks like it's a flip switch that's on there. That's no longer a part of it. And there's no posts on this shuttle either. So this must have been a pre-production model that we're looking at here. And it does fit inside of the sonar carry bag, which we're going to talk about next. The sonar carry bag. It is a heavy-duty 6,000 denier nylon shell, hard plastic bottom. On the bottom of it has 4 pockets, internal straps to securely keep your flasher in place, zippered PVC viewing window, and a padded shoulder strap. Then we've got the live imaging pole. So this is their live imaging pole for this year. They actually use the aluminum in the same methodology here for the length of it that they do with their fishing nets, which is great because they've got a lot of experience with those. So aluminum housing, and it has a bearing on it to help make that swivel at the top really, really nice. It has an oversized directional handle that we've seen a few times in a few of these photos, that big black handle that can flop down into the slush to keep it from moving side to side. It's got adjustable length. It fits multiple brands of the transducers that are on there. It's got a 22-inch extension piece that's included, 26 1/8 inch total length when it is collapsed. It's got a 44 3/4 total inch length when it's extended. And if you use the additional extension piece, you can get up to 66 3/4 inches in total length. It weighs 2.85 pounds with the extension pole, 2.55 pounds without the extension pole. Live imaging transducer covers, as you can see here, this is an LVS 32 inside of here that they've got a transducer cover on. They've got their 4mm thick neoprene fabric that protects different transducers during transportation and storage. Next is their Clam Lock system. So these are all the accessories for Clam Lock that they currently have. They've got the cell phone holder, they've got the single position rod holder, the 4-position rod holder, the rattle reel, which is new this year. They've got the adjustable fish trap clamp, and they've got the power center, which is one of the items that I'm most excited about. You just put your small battery in there, and this is where you've got your post terminals. You've got your master power switch SAE plug, 12-volt cigarette lighter, as well as a voltmeter and USB ports, all just popped right on top that you can mount right onto the side of your shelter. They do have other Clam Lock accessories that are not listed here. They've got some fish trap accessories. So they've got travel covers, runner kits, sled pole harnesses, Pro Series hitch. This is new this year, the new Pro Series hitch, which looks super heavy duty, awesome, and it has a handle on it, which is great. And it has the Pro Series hitch mount kit, which allows you to mount to nearly any tub that you have. You've got rechargeable hand warmers. These came out last year, just exactly what they say. You can maybe find these for a better price, the exact same product on a website that starts with an A and ends with a .com. Pretty handy though if you want to keep your hands warm and you like the idea of being able to recharge them, and you can actually recharge your phone from them if you wanted to as well. We've got multiple different heat settings. They've got ice skimmers. They've got a couple new ice skimmers. They got a 12-inch and a 20-inch that they came out with this year, galvanized in plastic. And they've got a brand new rechargeable lithium aerator that they came out with this year. This is the 2.0 version of their lithium aerator. I do like the color of it a lot better, and I will have a video coming out on this later this year, comparing it not only to the V1, but also to another cheap knockoff version that I found for $15 on Amazon that looks almost identical, except it doesn't have the Clam logo, as well as covering up the lights a little bit differently, but that you can look for on the channel here. But I am a huge fan of their version 1, so I would hope and would think that the version 2 is only going to be better. This is not out on the market yet, so I haven't been able to get my hands on it yet. The beacon light is new for this year. You can see you can mount it to your hub shelter, or you can go ahead and put it just about anywhere that you want. You could put it by a tip up out on the ice. You could throw it by, something that you got outside you don't want ran over, on a couple different sides, on posts, on a vehicle, whatever you want to do with it. Good for emergency to have in your vehicle in case you get stranded on the side of the road. There's a lot of really cool features on this in terms of different strobe patterns and whatnot. They've got rods, reels, and combos. A few of the notable ones that they have listed in here is the Jason Mitchell meat stick combo with the Psycho Shad Glow Pink Wonder Bread that they have outlined here. This image right here makes me want to go ice fishing. Like, I get super excited just looking at this. They've got the Spooler Elite combo, which is a solid fiberglass rod. It's got a 3+1 ball bearing reel. It's got a 2.3 to 1 gear ratio, and you can move it from right to left-handed retrieve, all on the same setup here. They've got 3 different actions: 27 ultralight with ultralight spring bobber, 28-inch ultralight light action, and then a 30-inch noodle. They've got the Predator rod, which is a new rod this year that is paired up supposedly perfectly with the Predator tip-up that they came out with last year. It's a solid fiberglass rod blank locking skeletal reel seat, and it's perfect for pairing, like I had said, to the Predator tip-up. They've got a 36 medium and a 42 medium heavy. Then They've got the Bravo combo. This is another one of the products in the Folds of Honor Ice series of products that does actually allow some of the proceeds to go to a good cause through Folds of Honor. This is a solid carbon blank 3+1 ball bearing, 5.2 to 1 gear ratio, and a slip-free drag system. Everything from 26 inches up to 34 inches and a noodle all the way up to a medium light rod. Then we've got the Tatsumi combo, which is an ultra-sensitive carbon blank. This is a 5+1 coated bearing system with chrome steel ball bearings and a slip-free plus PTFE drag system. This is 26 inches, multiple lengths up to 34 inches from an ultralight all the way up to a medium. They've got their Scepter series, they've got their Katana series, and their Straight Drop series available. I'm not going to read through all these due to the sake of time here, but you can see them here on the screen and click on the links down below. Then you've got the Jason Mitchell Meat Stick series. So this is a brand new series of rods that they came out with this year. It's precision sanded lapis composite blank. It's supposedly not going to break, or at least break anywhere nearly as easy as the tips on the previous version, which is great. It's got a PU wrapped EVA split handle, which is really nice. It's like a rubbery texture on it, which is really nice on the hand. 5+1 ball bearings, 4.8 to 1 gear ratio, and they've got a 28, 30, or 32 inch medium. I am planning on picking up at least this rod this year. I don't know if I'll get the combo. This was one of the first favorite rods that I had when I was getting into ice fishing many, many years ago. Of course, not the new version, but the OG version. They've got the Jason Mitchell Midnight Dead Meat Stick. They've got the Dead Meat series. That's not the Midnight series. They've got the Dead Meat Graphite combo. They've got the Jason Mitchell Mac rod. So a lot of rods here. Then another one in the Folds of Honor in Ice Ops line. For reels, we've got the Bravo reel. So if you're interested in, again, donating towards a good cause with some of the proceeds of your purchase, this is a good option, and it looks really cool. And then they've got a ton of other reels here, everything from additional spinning reels to some of their flagship reels, like the Misago reel. I think this is an $80 reel that you're seeing up here in the top right. It is a 9+1 bearing system, machine aluminum ported wide spool. I might pick one of these up this year to try out, see how it compares to my Daiwa QZ750s that I absolutely love. And it's got a multi-disc Teflon drag system. They've got the Predator reel, and then they've got some inline Spooler Elite reels. So in case you're looking at some of the new colorways that they have this year, they have them there. And then, of course, the Tatsumi reel as well. We talked a little bit about the Predator rod. Well, that's right. This is the Predator tip-up that came out last year. This is one of the heaviest duty tip-ups that I've ever seen on the market. I did not get a chance to use it last year. We had a really bad ice season last year. I didn't do very much tip-up fishing at all. But this year I do plan on breaking it out. What's really great about this is it's built by a couple of ice fishermen and fine-tuned and finessed over many, many years of experience out on the ice. It has an auto hook setting and a non-auto hook setting. So you can use it even here in Minnesota where you can't do auto hook setting. You just take that component off and don't bring it with. This looks like a really awesome setup here, especially now that you can pair it up with that new Predator rod that was designed to work perfectly with this. So really, really cool product here. It is heavy duty. It's not going to just break on you. It's really awesome. You can fight your fish on a rod rather than tip-up line. But in the sense of, all the other types of tip-ups, they do have the Lunker Deluxe tip-up. It's 24 inches in length. It's your typical wood tip-up that you're seeing here. They've got the Arctic Warrior tip-up, which is, again, using your rod on a tip-up. They've got the Night Bite Light, which is a light that goes on a tip-up. They've got the Trophy Thermal tip-up. This is new this year. They redesigned it a little bit. They used to have a version of this that had a clear little jig box that could go in it. That is no longer a part of this, but this is the thermal tip-up, kind of that round version of it. Now, in terms of Ice Armor by Clam, they have their Rise V3 float suit that is upgraded for this year. So the Rise float suit you're probably familiar with. The V3 this year is new. They've made some upgrades to it, and it looks pretty dang sick in all three of the colors that they have shown here. It's got the motion float technology, so the idea here is you can float with it. It's got the underarm zip venting, which is great. 300 denier waterproof, windproof, breathable shell. Seam taped, 150 grams of fixed thermal insulation. It's got waterproof phone pouch. It's got a ton of pockets on it, is essentially what this is trying to say. Tons of pockets. Right here, just on the front of it, I think they've got 6, 7, 8 pockets just on the front. The ones that you can see, you've got 2 you can slip your hands in back here, and then you've got some right behind these front bib pockets as well, breast pockets on there. You've got D-ring hooks. They've really decked these things out. Did a whole lot with the bibs as well in terms of upgrading for the padding inside of them. They've got the belt loops on them. They've got upgraded for the way that the straps work on them. They've done a lot on these suits this year. So if you are interested in getting an upgraded suit and you have the Rise suit and you kind of want the latest and greatest, that is one of the products you should probably take a look at. They, of course, have the Ascent float suit. This is not new. The Delta float suit is not new. This came out last year. And this is a really cool suit. I almost picked one up last year. It's part of the Ice Ops line. It looks really freaking awesome as well. They've got the Defender float suits, and then they've got a women's Rise float suit as well. So if you are a woman looking for one that maybe has a little bit of a different cut and color pattern that is maybe geared more in your style, you can also take a look at those. And then, of course, they have the Youth Rise float suit, which is great for the little ones. My little one is a little too little to be going out ice fishing with me. She can't even really walk yet. So coming soon, maybe we'll get her in one of these. Woolly fingerless gloves and the insulated chopper mitts are both new this year. Wool fingerless gloves, pretty self-explanatory, and chopper mitts. They do have a package where we can get both of these together as well. Then they've got the new Edge X gloves and the Edge X mitts. So these are intended to have a little bit more dexterity for you. They have 150 grams in the palm, 200 grams of Thinsulate on the back of the hand. For the Edge X gloves, the mitts have a little bit more. These look pretty awesome. I'm gonna have to try out the gloves. I'm not a big mitts fan, especially without going to the top of the line mitts in terms of probably the extreme mitts or something like that, where you've got a little bit more insulation, even though you don't have more insulation. It's actually less insulation, which is kind of interesting. And then all the other gloves that they already had out previously, the Fleece Grip gloves, Expedition gloves, the Extreme gloves and mitts, Vertex gloves. These are a high-performing glove that has a lot of dexterity built into them. Then you've got the Delta Glommet, which is a glove mitt combo. It's got Renegade gloves and mitts, Youth gloves and mitts, Delta Muff. So this is like a hand warmer, kind of like what you see in football players use to keep their hands warm in the winter season. You've got the fleece face mask and the hoodie face mask, and then the Renegade neck gaiter, which is great. They've got Balaclava, which is a full kind of face shield type of thing. You've got the Thermolite liner socks, palm hats, merino wool socks, and then the Sub-Zero boots. None of those are new this year. They are just included in this catalog to show you some of the things that they have. Tackle, I've got a video on all of the new tackle out for this year, dedicated on the channel as well. But they do have the Confetti Drop, which is a tungsten jig. Some new color patterns that are on here if you're interested in checking these out. They're 99.7% pure tungsten. They get their name from the multicolored confetti dots that glow brightly on them. They've got colored glow or UV bodies, except the black is not obviously a UV body. They've got different sizes available, 1/64 ounce, 1/32, and 1/16 ounce, and in the 12 different glow colors that you can see here that will pop up on the screen. They've got the Psycho Shad, which is back. It's constructed of PVC, so these are upgraded from the previous Psycho Shad that you had seen before in previous years, many, many years ago. They've got stainless steel BBs that rattle loudly. They're available in the 1/12 ounce for perch and crappie, a 1/7 ounce, and a 1/4 ounce for walleye, sauger, and pike, available in 18 different colorways. You got the Rattlin' PT Spoon. These came out previously, but what is new this year is the new glow-in-the-dark koi fish bodies. Koi pattern is the colorway that you see that Matt Johnson in this photo is holding up, and it has the black speckle on it. So you can see all of the 18 colors that are available here in sizes 1/16 ounce with the number 12 hook, 1/8 ounce with the number 10, and a 1/4 ounce with the number 8 hook. You've got the Tika Flash available again this year. You've got the Tika Flash PT, which is available this year with the painted treble and the koi pattern on these ones as well, which is why it says new. You've got the Pinhead Pro, of course, that we're aware of, the Pinhead Pro PT. So these are painted treble, and they have the koi pattern on them as well in terms of those black specks. The Jointed Pinhead Pro and the Jointed Pinhead Pro PT, which stands for painted treble, with the koi pattern on them as well. Now, if we talk about plastics, the Niku plastics are new this year. There's 4 new plastic models that came out this year. The Twitch Fly, the Flutter Fry that you can see here, the Soldier Fly, and the Bolt Minnow. So those are the 4 new Niku plastics that came out this year. 2 of them came from the Crappie Chronicles crew and were inspired by a lot of their experience out on the ice. So check these out this year. Grab maybe a pack of each in some of your favorite colors and see where you go from there. They also have a lot of tackle kits. None of these I do not believe are new this year, but they've got a lot of multi-kits available that you're going to see here. The CPT Mystery Ice Grab Bag. I bought a couple of these last year to see if they were worth it. And I would say, honestly, for the, I think these are 20 bucks. For the 20 bucks I think that they actually are giving you about $20 worth of value. So you're not banking a ton of money here. You're not losing money, but it's nice because you kind of get some cool stuff in it that isn't just duplicate or excess things. You're not just getting a bunch of plastics in it. So check it out if you're interested in checking it out. I did last year and I was pleased with what I had gotten. Frost Ice Line. This is my go-to ice line. This is what I prefer on every one of my lines, every one of my reels for ice fishing. So we've got the number 1 is my favorite right here, the Frost Ice Fluorocarbon. I'm a big fluorocarbon fan. I really like the metered chartreuse clear, but of course, depending on availability, I will sometimes get the metered pink clear or the clear. They've got, of course, the monofilament in a couple different colors, clear, metered orange clear, metered red clear. So you can kind of tell the difference of do I have mono or fluoro on, which is great, of course, unless you have clear. And then they've got the Frost Ice Mono Gold. So if you're doing a lot of sight fishing, this is actually pretty nice to be able to see that gold line. And they've got it available in the 1 to 8 pound test. The fluoro is available in, it doesn't say, but I think down to 2 pound, 2 pound, 12 pound. I don't know. I'm making up. I don't know what it goes up to. And then they've got their Frost Ice Braid fishing line in smoke and high vis yellow. They've got CPT bite bags, which are just your plastics bags, if you will, that are super heavy duty and durable and aren't going to rip on you. They've got a lot of jig boxes. I'm a fan of these Magnum ones here. Magnum is pretty great. The Mini is pretty great. And then I skip over a lot of these. My favorite for jigs, like what you see here on the right, is actually, that's one of the cases, the super slim jig boxes. I really like these. I get the large, the medium, and the small because these are so thin. They're perfect for jigs. They're perfect for thin, small spoons. You can put them in there. There's not space for them to fall out. There's not space for them to dangle around. And so you're not really worried about them falling out or you know, getting all loose in there and tangling up because they can't really move because they're up against that lid. They do have a nice waterproof seal on these ones that you can clasp shut so it's not going to even break open on you, which is great. And that's a wrap. If you want to see more about this gear, comment down below what you want to see more about. Otherwise, check out this video here on the screen where I go in more depth into some of the brand new 2024-2025 ice fishing gear from Clam Outdoors this year. Thank you so much. Until next time, take it easy.